What is your thought on Thursday, January 4th, heading into the game?
I feel pretty good about Washington and the points. I would put a little sprinkle on Washington money line. I think they can win this game. I think if it comes down to it, if one of these teams has a 4-point lead and takes over with 2:30 left on their own 20, I like Washington.
I've been big. The funniest thing to me is I have routinely picked against Michigan because they always play in these big games against teams that have more talent than them.
I didn't pick against them against Ohio State or Penn State.
I don't remember what I picked. I think I might have picked them to beat Ohio State.
I picked against them in Alabama, but begrudgingly. I
was adamant that they would lose to Alabama. I could not have been wronger doing that game.
I mean,
and now
it wasn't like they just killed them. I mean,
I thought
come on,
Alabama was going to eat their lunch, dude.
I didn't. I thought Bama would win. I didn't think they were going to eat their lunch.
I was wrong about that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I picked them to win on the show because the gambling line was too good to be true, and it turned out that it was.
Mm-hmm.
Also, too, if you gambled on that game and stuck around in the live betting mechanism when Alabama was winning 20-13 late in the game, you could have gotten Michigan plus 550, which would have covered your initial bet and then even profited depending on whether or not you hedged. Some people did. Some people are smart. If you didn't, I'm sorry to hear that. JJ McCarthy is 26-1 as a starter. And I think I saw something from a Michigan fan site that said that's the best record of any quarterback in the last 20 years.
Here's a question for you briefly. Can I just say, how many of those 26 wins would you say that JJ McCarthy is chiefly responsible for?
0.
All right. Just asking.
I don't know, man.
I'd give him
no.
I'm
talking about the game.
Oh.
Chiefly responsible? The thing that Michigan has done so
chiefly is a difficult descriptor.
What is it? He was
a big reason why they beat Alabama. That's just true.
He was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he played well, and winning games doesn't necessarily mean you have to, be Cam Newton and just take over a game. Like, he makes the plays that he needs to make in front of him to keep his team on schedule and to make, that final drive where they tied it at 20 was a masterful drive. I don't know if there's any individual play that JJ McCarthy is like, holy crap, this guy is incredible. But I think the incredible thing is the consistency and the cool that he keeps in those high leverage moments. So chiefly responsible, maybe I'll give him a few, but winning games, I think, is a quarterback stat at times, and he deserves. Listen, he played a lot of crappy Big Ten teams too, so a lot of, not very good quarterbacks in the Big Ten that play for big time programs have really good win-loss records. But I have a hard time with this because I can see it going both ways.
I can too.
I think that I could see Michigan just completely physically owning the game the way they did against Alabama, running the ball and winning by 7 points in a very highly contested, fun game. I also could see a world where Michigan is completely and utterly unable to keep up with what Washington does offensively.
I can see it. It's one of the reasons why I love this game. This is very exciting.
And I don't really know which way to err. So I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to pick Washington in the points, but I think Michigan will win by less than 4.5. Is that a good compromise?
You just wanted to get into quadruple overtime, so get in a 2-point conversion contest.
Then, if that happens, we also get the over/under. Over.
Not necessarily.
I have a really hard time. I always said I came into this game thinking I cannot pick against Michigan anymore. They humiliate me repeatedly.
I've been picking against Washington more than I've been picking against.
And I had a really weird scenario because I picked Washington. I picked Michigan on the podcast last week, but I bet against them a lot of money. So I didn't know. I was wrong. I did hedge and luckily got out of it a little bit. But this one, I don't know. I'm going to the game, so I'm not going to bet it. But I do think I don't know what side I would like. So I think in this scenario, getting 4.5 points is a nice little situation. I just don't know if Michigan can cover them. I don't know if Washington can stop Michigan. I think it's going to be a really good game. And it's really hard to pick games where the styles are this contrasting too, which is
and I think the over/under is probably about right because the way Michigan plays will limit. I think the efficiency is going to be high, But because of the way Michigan plays, I think it'll be a limited possession type of game. So I think that over-under number is kind of unpredictable and it looks about right. But yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of value in general. I just think Washington being able to keep it close and possibly win makes a lot of sense to me. So
yeah. Also, too, if you're a live better, if Michigan goes up 7-0 early, you might be able to get 2 or 3 to 1 on Washington early on in the game.
That's not bad.
That's always an attractive thing too when you can get some value close into the game. So, lastly, do you have an X factor for each team for this game? Did you look at this?
Yeah, I mean, how about Jack Westover for Washington? Right, it's a guy that all those receivers get a lot of pub, but Mr. Ugly number 37. I don't know if we can get a petition before the game to get him to change the number. It's not as bad as Devin Brown wearing number 3. I know he's like
Devin Brown wears 33.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like Sammy Baugh's like 8th cousin or something. What is it? It's
there's a connection to
whatever it is.
Who played football in black and white TV era.
Somebody's got to step in and just be like, "Son, stop it.
You're killing yourself here.
Stop it, please. Stop it."
Yeah.
Anyway, not a huge fan of wearing number 37 and catching passes, but hey,
37 is so less of an eyesore than 33 at quarterback. It's not even a debate.
It's not, but it's still not great. I think we can all agree. But he's my guy. I think Jack Westover can be a guy that makes a big impact there. Am I allowed to pick 2 tight ends as my X factors? And
go ahead, bud. It's your world.
Colston Loveland, I love what we've seen from him. He's made some really big catches. I think there's a time for him. I think getting in one-on-one with some of these linebackers, I think he can make some things happen.